Which cloud did it get recorded to? Maybe that's the problem. I've been looking on the wrong cloud.
It went to the liminal cloud.
Oh,
The
the space
cloud
between the clouds.
yeah, the cloud between the worlds. What are we
Ooh.
talking about?
We're talking about how episode 90 was once upon a time a beautiful, wonderful episode about crafting with the liminal and what that was. And we even had a really cool oracle card pull at the end where we used the liminal oracle deck to do. And guess what? The episode has disappeared.
What we're talking about, gentle listeners, is an episode that is not to be.
I'm not entirely convinced that this episode will not show up somewhere. And so, should this episode re-pop up, I'll be sure to get it out right away. However, for now, it seems only fitting that this episode would disappear, Jim, amongst Mercury Retrograde. Not that I'm one to blame. However, was I one to make sure this was backed up? No, so that's my bad. That's a live and learn moment for me.
Maybe it's good since we lost an episode that is all about the liminal, which means the space between spaces, the unseen spaces. We lost an episode that is about that topic, which is very, maybe not even ironic. And we are blaming Mercury retrograde for these shenanigans. Maybe we need to listen to our old episode about Mercury retrograde to remind us how to work with Mercury retrograde. So that's what we're going to do today. Enjoy this blast from the past reminder of how to work with Mercury retrograde, what it can do for you, how to flip the script on Mercury retrograde. Enjoy, everybody.
And we'll see you next week. Light from Lantern presents Knit a Spell. I'm magical maker, Katie Rempe.
And I'm the maker of magic, James Devine.
Join us as we stitch together the symbiotic relationship between crafting
and the craft.
Hello?
Hello, it's Mercury retrograde calling.
Oh no, don't come in here.
Mercury in retrograde.
A time that most people just shaking their boots about.
How many people have I seen catastrophize? Or you know what it really is? When people say, I can't, and then they blame Mercury retrograde.
The excuse makers.
I think why it bothers me is because maybe somewhere inside myself, I'm sensitive to it because maybe there's a little bit of that person in me.
Yeah, I think we all have that.
Oh no, it's Mercury retrograde. I can't.
It's so much easier just to write it off to being like the cosmic universe problem than something you might have done.
I'm in this picture and I don't like it. Report.
Listen, yeah, exactly. So I think let's start by explaining what is Mercury in retrograde. I've noticed that we have a lot of listeners that aren't necessarily into the magical realm or astrology. Why don't you go ahead and give us a little breakdown about what it is and why people are historically scared about it, and then we'll go from there.
Mercury goes retrograde about 3 times a year. In fact, all the planets go into a retrograde motion at different times during the year. Retrograde is an astronomical and astrological concept. So the astronomical concept, it's not a concept, the observation is, it's the apparent backwards movement of a planet in the sky as the Earth overtakes that planet's orbit while we are on our orbit. If you've ever looked up in the sky at the moon several nights in a row, you might notice that one night the moon is like a crescent moon right after sunset. And the next night it's a little bit later that it's there.
Yep.
Or the next night, it's when it's the first quarter, it's up in the evening and you see it right overhead. This is the idea that the moon every night is progressing further and further away from the sun or from the sunset. What it's doing every night is moving through the constellations every day as it goes along. The moon is very close to the Earth, and so we can really see its movement. For planets that are further out, and by the way, the moon moves with us, so it's never in retrograde.
Sure.
But for the planets that are in the other lanes, And so this is the way to think about it also is when you're in a car on the freeway, some cars are going to go faster than you, and some cars are going to go slower than you. As you pass a car that's going slower than you, it appears from inside the car that car is going in backwards motion.
Yes. Oh,
And
yeah.
that's what happens.
That is a perfect analogy. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Very practical.
And we're passing that planet. It's a time in astrological ideas. It's a time when that planet is seen as retracing its steps that it just went through. So if the planet just came through a couple different zodiac signs, let's just use Mars for an example. Mars was in Aries, and then Mars was in Taurus, and then Mars goes retrograde. It'll go back through Taurus for a little while, retracing its steps. So that's the idea, is that this retrograde means we're retracing our steps and we're going back over things. Often, old-fashioned fatalistic astrology would say that whenever a planet is in retrograde, it's like ominous.
Misfortune time.
It's misfortune time, yeah.
Yeah.
So they would look at that as a sort of negative idea. Today, we have a much different approach to it. And most people, even those listening, we have a much different idea around what it means to have Mercury in retrograde.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I think before we talk about what the Mercury in retrograde means, we should probably explain what Mercury represents.
A great idea.
So Mercury is associated or is synchronized with the ancient Greek god Hermes. Mercury is the Roman god and Hermes is the Greek god. This Greek god is known as messenger of the gods. Mercury has winged sandals and sometimes pictured with a winged hat, carries a caduceus, which is a snake entwined winged staff. He can go to the underworld, unlike other deities. His realms are in all three places, the sky, the sea, and the underworld. He can ferry the dead into the afterlife as the word psychopomp, as a person that helps guide the dead to their afterlife. And he's associated with things like communication, commerce, marketing, all kinds of things. Hermes is also known to have, and is documented to have, lovers that are both male and female. So there's a little bit of a pansexual thing going on with him. And he's well dressed. He's got a fabulous
Such great
shoes.
style. Yeah.
That's a little bit about Mercury. So when we look at it magically, we think of Mercury being the communicator, the self-expression, marketing, commerce, a little bit around like shady things. Hermes is the patron of thieves. And we think about marketing as stealing your attention or convincing you of something. So Mercury
Deep, Jim, that's deep.
Right? Mercury can be that sort of idea around like, hey, look at this. Hey, look at that. A little bit of the Hall of Mirrors type of thing.
Sure. Look over there. Yep.
Yeah.
Very cool.
When we call on Mercury to help us with things like travel, communication, technology, marketing, sales, all those kind of things, people can use Mercury or Hermes in a lot of those ways. When Mercury's retrograde, the mainstream idea is my technology will break, transportation and travel's difficult.
Delay.
There's a whole list of things not to do during Mercury retrograde. Don't sign contracts and don't get
start
into
new projects.
Exactly. Don't start new projects, all those things.
Yep.
So what we want to do in this episode is debunk and reframe. I don't know if there's any debunking. Maybe it's mostly reframing.
Yeah, reframe. How to make Mercury in retrograde work for you because of the opportunities it's actually offering.
Yes.
Again, it's all a perspective-based thing. If you want this to be a doom and gloom time, you're probably going to bring a lot of doom and gloom unnecessarily onto yourself.
Totally.
So, yeah.
What can you do? There's a whole list on the internet of what you can't do. Can you do during Mercury retrograde?
This reminds me so much of palmistry and where it's come from and how it has lost the helpful part. It's only the misfortune part. And it's just interesting how this particular instance is similar to that. So I'm excited to share these ideas that we've had because they were even really inspiring to me. I'm actually excited for this Mercury in retrograde that's coming up now.
Because you're going to be able to try things, right?
Yep.
Don't be afraid, everybody. It's going to be okay. Here are some ideas that we came up with. We talked about that word retrograde with the prefix RE.
Yes, that was like a genius reflection. This is the time to do the things that start with RE. Whether you are in the magical realm, you're a maker, or you're just living your life, there's a lot you can do. It's fun. It's re-energizing. RE.
Oh.
It's rejuvenating. RE. And I think you're really going to like it.
RE.
RE. That's right.
It's funny how even words that don't have RE as a prefix actually just start with RE, like read. What a great time to read.
A perfect
right?
time to read.
Or
yes.
reread even.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's interesting when we start to open up a dictionary and look at words that start with RE and be inspired by what's in there. I think that's a super magical thing to do.
I may have done that. I was like mind blown that there's so many 15-letter words that start with RE. There were so many words that start with RE. I guess maybe I shouldn't really have been that surprised. My
Longest
last name
word.
starts with RE, which is funny.
True.
Oh, I don't remember offhand, but
Dang it.
But it's very easy to look up online for your favorite search engine. Let's give some folks examples on how they can use this time and the energy that comes with Mercury in retrograde to make things work for them. I thought maybe I could share some knitting examples or like crochet making examples first, if that's cool with you.
I think that's a great idea.
So I personally thought for makers, as someone who has taught people and continues to see people learn and grow, it's funny how people don't necessarily look back and recognize where they've come from. Recognize, that's right. When we start a craft like knitting, you want to be great immediately, and it can be really frustrating. But the more you do it, the better you get. And even like after a month, after a year, after 5 years, after 20 years, if you look back and see how far you've come and all the projects you used to think were hard, and really recognize the growth that you've had, it's a very powerful experience to put towards your current problems too, to maybe think, oh, they're not that bad. Or, wow,
Right.
I'm really impressed. It's a great time to reflect on that.
And those are words, reflection, view. All of those are really powerful words that start with re that are helpful everywhere. How few times people that have businesses, people that work in something, people that are parents, reflect on their kids' performance, the great things their kids have done, progress we've made in business or with my team, the growth and advancement that I've made as I'm knitting, because I am knitting for the very first time this week.
Yes.
And you know what makes me a better knitter? It's a word that starts with RE.
I can't
repetition.
Wait to hear. Oh, it's a good one. Yes.
So it's very interesting how we're practicing and repeating something is really heightened and highlighted during Mercury retrograde.
Yep. It's a great time to meditate and really get into something that you're currently working on. That being said, it's a great time to reconnect with old projects. Maybe you're like me and you like to cast on multiple projects at once. Over time, things happen and change.
People don't do that.
Maybe it's just me, Jim, but sometimes accumulate projects that I realize I'm never going to return to.
We are now hyper conscious of all of the words that start with RE right now.
I can't stop. So it's a great time to just go through all those projects. You can remember why you started them. Even if you don't want to finish it, it's still fun to look at them again. And if you're like, okay, this project, I don't want to finish it. It's actually just stressing me out, even being here. Release the yarn. It's okay to take it out. It can be something else, whether it ends up being that project again or something for someone else. It's a really great opportunity to just make new space and release anything that's unnecessarily keeping tension on you. This is your craft. It shouldn't be stressful, but it is for a lot of people. And that's when we have to remember, okay, we're choosing to do this. We don't need to knit.
I love the idea of release. So far, we've talked about review, reflection, reconnecting with an old project. Also talked about releasing old projects.
Yes.
And when you are talking about those two things, I immediately think, I have my first ball of yarn. Am I going to end up with a lot of yarn like my partners? And will it ever need to be like organized or put away? And that makes me think of another word, reorganize.
Yes. Oh, it's a great time to reorganize, much like going through your old projects, going through your yarn stash, or just saying for me, I tend to have a lot of projects going at once. And then when I finish them, I don't necessarily always take the time to put away the needles, put away the notions. So they are like scattered in piles. And so it's a great time to reorganize, get things situated, find out, are some of these things I don't even want anymore? Maybe they could be released back in the world to help someone else. So it's a good time, again, to make space because new things come when we make space for them. I'm not saying it's a great time to buy yarn after this if you make more space.
A little like Marie Kondo type of action would
Yep,
be okay
exactly.
at this time, right?
Yes, because I think a lot of people have such a large stash over time is because they're sentimentally attached to, I got this at a fiber festival or it was a gift from a friend. And even though I don't like the fiber or the color or whatever, like I can't just recognizing that it was a great gift and giving it to someone else so it has an opportunity to be something. That's really powerful too.
Love this. Okay, well, let's talk about one more reword with regards to knitting, crocheting, and making.
Yeah.
What about the word resist?
Yeah, I would say resist starting new projects. Resist buying new materials.
Wait, there's a reword there. Reuse.
Yeah.
Recycle.
Remind yourself what you already have.
Remind yourself to remember to reuse.
This is like really hitting me hard.
Personally attacked.
Yeah, a little bit.
This is a perfect time to do it. 3 times a year-ish, Mercury is in retrograde and we have these opportunities. And if we went with and embraced the astrology, Martha Stewart puts out her annual schedule of when to dig up the bulbs and when to plant this and when to make bread and all those sort of things, right? Mm-hmm. You can really use the astrology and the seasons and start to have these periods of time where you're in this reflective state. And I think it's really helpful, even if you're not a maker. If you're listening to this and you are not a maker, you don't know how to crochet or knit or whatever. So for folks that are thinking outside of the knitting bag, what are some ideas that you came up with?
I have to give props to my roommate, Brianne, because she was inspired by me just telling her oh yeah, we had this idea for the podcast, telling people how they can prepare and make the best use of this time.
Props to Brianne, girl.
Yes. She's one smart cookie, I'll tell you what. And right away, she was like, oh, I'm so inspired. Yeah, I could see how I could put this in my just daily life, let alone magic or knitting. I was inspired by that. And yeah, okay, so how else could we do this? Just so anyone could make best use of this time. And I thought, okay, it's all about removing old things to make space for new things. So whether that's physical or mental, that's up to you. Some examples are going through spices and your fridge, removing old expired items, your makeup drawer, things that you just don't always think about but use a lot, like nail polishes, especially if it's expired. That's low vibe stuff. You don't need it. It probably doesn't taste like anything anyway.
The bottom of your fridge. The bottom of your fridge definitely has stuff that can be released.
It's probably furry and ready to go. It's also a great time to review recipes that maybe you've used within the past year. A lot of people have been cooking at home lately, and with things getting back to a different state, it's easy to forget that there were probably some things that came out really delicious that maybe you aren't even thinking about. So it's a great time to refresh your palette, your menu. I know I really get kind of stale in that situation. It's also a great opportunity to refresh the art and photography in your home. Decor is so easy to get used to, but I promise as soon as you change anything, it's your eye immediately goes to it every time you go to the room. It's so refreshing.
I love this idea of redecorating during Mercury retrograde. Even if it's small, even if it's switching out that blanket that you put over the couch for the other blanket that's a different color, or trade it out with something that's in one of the bedrooms or something. Maybe it's time to switch up your sheets or switch out your winter clothes for your summer clothes, something like that. So I think about that being a great time to do those things that are also, it's going to look different. Even if it's a new plant or different plant or moving stuff around
Yes, just
inside your
moving
home.
stuff around with your own stuff. Again, you don't have to buy new things. That's not the point here. It's
Re
reusing,
rearrange.
rearrange,
Another RE
repurpose.
word.
Yes. Oh, I tell you
Love it. This is so
what.
fun. And you have some other really clever ones. As I was thinking about some of these things, I think about reorganizing like a closet or my
hmm
sock drawer or whatever, but you had a really great take on reorganize.
Oh, yeah. So reorganize closets and then donate the items that aren't being used. Again, they're they're not doing you any good just sitting there, but they could be doing someone else a lot of good if you let them. Releasing them into a better situation, if that's how you need to think about it, is a great way to think about it.
And you thought about reorganizing things that I've done, like recent achievements. That's also was so
Oh,
interesting to me.
yes, and rewarding yourself for that, recognizing where you've come from, to give yourself some props because it helps fill up your cup, and you can't give from an empty cup.
All right, you have a couple more.
Relax. So, again, a meditative time, a reflective time. If like you're feeling overwhelmed, it's okay to say no, take a minute, let yourself come back into it in a better headspace.
When you're talking about all of these fabulous ideas, what is some magic we can do during Mercury retrograde? So, the colors that are associated with Mercury are colors that are sometimes associated with the element of air, like yellow, orange, gold. They're really great mercurial colors. Those are also colors that are associated with opening the roads or blockbusting anything that's in your way, because Hermes is that type of deity that would create open roads for you. So you could use those colors, but you can also add colors in that signify Mercury retrograde. Like perhaps you have a gold, but then you cover it with another color, like a dark red, or maybe a darker color, or alongside a darker color. So you could bring those in as like a reflection or even a mirror. So I'm thinking immediately about reflection in a mirror and doing reflective magic. One of the things you can do is meditate in front of a mirror to reflect on yourself and have that energy back, or put a mirror up when you do a little bit of candle magic. You could put a mirror up to acknowledge the Mercury retrograde time. This is a great time for any type of meditation, awareness, exercises. How wonderful would it be to draw a beautiful bath for yourself?
Ooh, yeah.
And maybe put some rose petals or some things you already have around the house, some salt, just a little pinch of salt for the energy of it. You have that rose water in the back of your cupboard you were going to use for those cocktails, or you have some bitters, or maybe you have some old dried rose petals or something else.
Yeah.
You could put those in the bath. Maybe you have a bath bomb that you haven't used
Boom.
because
Perfect.
it's too special or too nice. This is a time of rejuvenation and caring for yourself. Speak an intention as you get into the tub. I honor my body. I love my body. Ask Mercury in retrograde to help me reconnect,
Yeah,
another reword,
exactly.
with my body and with who I am. You could reorganize, just like you're knitting and you're crafting, your magical stuff. This is a great time to clean your altar, to clear your altar, to smudge, or to ritually purify objects. One of the things, we have this going all the time as we do magic, and as I do a candle spell, my candle spell is over and I have all this melted wax on my plate, or I have odds and ends, or whatever sorts of things are a result of a magical working that I'm doing. What do you do with that stuff? We have a burn box. It's actually a burn bag. And we have a special paper bag that is from the grocery store, but we have consecrated it by putting dots of oil on it and a big like symbol on it. You can even turn them inside out. And that becomes a magical bag for your remains of whatever ritual or magical stuff you've done. And so burning your burn box or your burn bag during this time outside or in a really good fireplace, although wax will drip all over. So it's better to do it at a campfire.
Be smart about it.
Be smart about it. As we're getting into nicer weather, it's a great opportunity. If you're going to have a campfire, if you're going to go to the beach, if you're going to go do something, you can put those on a ritual fire and use your burn box that way.
Oh my gosh. That actually, I've not to like interrupt your flow here, but
Please.
I have wondered often, what am I supposed to do with this now? And I'm always like, I can't just throw it out. And so I usually try to
Yes.
find like a place in nature to put it when it's safe to do. But that's a great idea. I love
Yeah.
that burn box.
It's
It's
the
so
number one
smart.
question that people ask is, what do I do with the remains from my magic work? If you did an intention sigil, or if you did knot magic, if you had a piece of yarn and you tied 7 knots in it, and in each knot you put a little intention with a piece of paper, have it hanging in your window, is a cool thing we could talk about one day. And then all of your things come to pass and that's done. What do you do with it?
Uh-huh.
So this is a great opportunity, but it also speaks to something that I would also like to talk about at a future episode. This is why using natural fibers
Yeah.
and using beeswax or soy wax or natural waxes rather than paraffin, really a great and important thing to do. If you're using beeswax, you can bury beeswax in a really great location and not be polluting. You
Yep.
cannot do that with paraffin. If you bury paraffin in your lawn, you will have a dead patch of soil for decades.
Much like using yarn and things, it's great to consider the impact of the product you're using.
So I think the big idea here with Mercury retrograde is go with the flow. One of the things maybe to not do is resist. We want to resist in the right way. We're tempted to resist Mercury retrograde because it is in retrograde, and resist is an RE word. There are RE things we can do in the wrong way. And I love how you had resist starting a new project.
Yes.
Resist signing a contract, right? We can use that resistance in a positive way. And there's this idea of the phoenix. There's this idea of rebirth, which is an RE word, right?
Yes.
And to come into a new place. So this is a time to reflect, renew, and be reborn. When Mercury then goes direct.
So is that like right around the solstice then, right?
Oh, right. It does happen
that's
right
a perfect
around
time for your burn box. What a
summer
great thing to
solstice.
do at the end of this particular Mercury in retrograde.
I totally see it. You go out to either your big backyard or to a location where it's safe and legal to have a campfire.
Yep.
Get some awesome friends together. You can light a big bonfire for the solstice. Very common for people to do. And that's a great opportunity to say, it's my magical friends. Let's do our burn box. What a cool idea.
That's a great release. It's a great reconnection. You're literally re-sparking. Maybe these are people you haven't seen for a long time.
You're rekindling friendships.
I think, Jim, I dare to say this could be one of the best Mercury in retrogrades in a long time. How about that?
It will be. We have the power to make this Mercury in retrograde fantastic. It worked for us.
That's exactly it. It's all about your
Remember, Mercury is still moving forward. Mercury is just not moving forward from our perspective. And so this is our time to look within and do internal work and take the time to do that.
Yeah, it's deep.
I have a story from last Mercury retrograde where I tried to implement a brand new email system during Mercury retrograde and it failed. It didn't fail. I made it work, but I had to have 5 different calls to IT support to make it happen.
Yeah.
And that's the type of thing that I was like, oh my gosh, of course, Mercury retrograde. You know what it really is? It's Jim retrograde because I was not working within the parameters of Mercury and what it's there to do. That would have been a great time for me to plan or reflect. What am I doing? Why do I want to do this? Let's reflect and review. Research.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's research what would be the right thing to do. When would be the right time to do it? Is this urgent? The worst thing is I didn't need to do all that stuff just then. I could have waited 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I know.
Every time. So it's really not a Mercury retrograde issue. It was an operator error.
It was a choice you made, and then you have to deal with the outcome of it.
That's
Again,
right. It's
not bad. It's not good. It just is what it is. So you have to, again, go with the flow. So
and be prepared. You know what you're going to have to do during Mercury retrograde?
What's that?
Repair.
Yeah.
So plan for it. I know my car is going to need these repairs as I've known that something's squeaking or something's moving. Well, you better be darn sure that those repairs will become immediately needed. If at any time is influenced by the astrology, it's likely those repairs will be required during
Yes.
Mercury retrograde.
Yes. If you don't deal with it, they're going to repeat themselves over and over again.
And recur.
Yes. I really hope this was inspiring for people. It's so easy to fall into bad habits. Even after having this conversation, I know at some point I'm going to be like, oh no, the thing. And then, no, it's an opportunity to do something that I wasn't expecting. Remember to keep your mind really flexible. Yes, again, stay flexible.
Is there a thing that you want to revive or review or reorganize during this Mercury retrograde, Katie?
Oh, actually, yeah. I was thinking it would be a great opportunity to revise my plans for the remainder of the year. And again, it's the perfect time to look back from what you've done for inspiration for current things.
Yeah, it's awesome.
How about you?
I am going to burn my burn box.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That is what I'm actually going to do. So we have one here at the house and are planning to have a getaway. So I'm super excited about all of the remains of our magical work and seeing it go up in flames during Mercury retrograde. Gosh. So that is my actual plan to do. So
that'll be so nice. It'll offer you a great opportunity to remember all of the rituals and spells and work that you did with those items too. Yeah, a really beautiful time.
Yay.
Super. Awesome.
This is fun.
Yeah.
We inspired each other.
I know, we always do. All right, I think that wraps it up for this week.
I'm excited for next week.
Me too. All right, Jim, I will see you soon.
So long, everybody.
Thanks for
listening.
If you enjoyed the show, consider sharing it with a friend, leaving a review on iTunes and Spotify, or following Knit a Spell on Instagram.
You can also subscribe to the Light from Lantern YouTube channel to enjoy full episodes of Knit a Spell and see our happy faces.
You can also learn more about readings, classes, and events going on with your favorite maker of magic, James Devine, by visiting thedivinehand.com and subscribing to his newsletter. Then follow Jim's fun and interactive Instagram account at DivineHandJim.
Keep up with Katie, the magical maker, by subscribing to her newsletter at lightfromlantern.com. You'll receive a free knitting pattern as a thank you gift. Then follow Katie on Instagram at lightfromlantern for even more magical making tips. See you next week.